What's the real problem that you need to be focusing on at the moment? Now, for some people, you say, look, it's my mortgage payments. So it's like, interest rates have gone up and that's really bad. Others, it's like, look at the cost of fuel. Sometimes it's like putting actual very basics, putting food on the table. So regardless of what part of the world you're in, there's a commonality of problems that actually we all face at the moment. But the thing is, let me just say something to you. I'm not saying that they're not problems, but I'm also saying that they are distractions. They are systems that have been created in this world to keep you stuck. Because while you're focusing on the cost of fuel, while you're focusing on who bombs who in the Middle East, while you're focusing on, how much, whether the farmers are going to have enough fertilizer to make the crops grow, while you're focusing on all of these things, these are fear-inducing and they're keeping you distracted from what the real core issues are. This is a system. As humanity, this is a system that we are part of. And the truth is, we have been lied to for so long. Like, think about it. Think about the simplest thing is like the pyramids. You explain to me how humanity put together those pyramids. Seriously, like go out and build one today with the technology that we have today. Never mind supposedly where we were all that time ago. And the truth is, that's not going to be possible. So lots of things, lots of, monuments, lots of amazing buildings in Europe, as an example. How are they created? How was that carving actually done? Hundreds of years ago, before we had the technologies we have today. So you see, the thing is, what happens is you get distracted with what it is that you're meant to be distracted with, which is all the day-to-day things. So by the time you go home from a hard day's work, maybe you've got small children, you see them, or you've got adult kids, it doesn't matter, you're exhausted. And so then what happens? You turn on TV or you go onto social media. And again, you're getting programmed with what the system wants to program you with. You're being played. And the longer, and you might say, Anne, I don't care about the pyramids. I care about food on the table for my family. And I get that. That's realistic. But the problem is, while your sole focus is on the day-to-day things, that is what is keeping you stuck in the system. That's what's keeping you stuck. That's what's keeping you on this treadmill. And let's face it, life is like a treadmill at the moment. So it's, everyone talks about, there's a lot of people awakening at the moment. There's a lot of people, COVID caused a lot of people to awaken, all of those things, yeah? Sure, it did. But awakening, the old form of awakening back 20 years ago, understanding that you are, a soul in a body, which was, way out at the time, that was one level of awakening. That's a spiritual awakening, a knowledge that you are more than your physical body. And some people still think people who think that are crazy. But that's just one part of the awakening. The other side of the awakening, and the bigger part of the awakening, is that most of what we've been told as humanity actually is a lie. And it's a lie for a purpose, because it keeps us controlled. It keeps us small. And so if you, deep within, I'm not telling you to believe anything I say. I'm suggesting you don't believe anything anybody says. Listen to what people say and actually check in with your heart. Check in with actually what's in here. See if it's like your truth. But where do we come from? Who created us? Is there really is everything completely random? Or is there a higher energy, a higher source? Somebody that's lots of people on the planet called God. Is there who made us? Do you really believe that two rocks collided and suddenly we're here with this level of intelligence? Honestly, if you genuinely believe that, then this is 100% not the channel for you. My point is, do I know the exact creation story? No, I've studied and I've listened to lots of traditions. And I've come to some level of conclusions. But I can't remember being there. I don't know if I was there, but I can't remember. I don't have the memory of being there. But I do know one thing. I know that we are actually being lied to at the moment. So yes, it's important to put food on the table. Yes, it's important to put fuel in the car. Yes, it's important to spend time with your loved ones. But it's also important to take a step back and to think, whoa, okay, hold on a second. And do your own research. Like, where did we come from? Who created this planet? And even, I guess, even more important, what knowledge has been hidden from us? You know, when I was a kid, I was brought up in a very strict Irish Catholic family. And, you know, as a kid, you think everybody has the same life that you do. So we used to say prayers at 6 o'clock in the evening. It was called the Angelus. You'd never dream of going to sleep without actually like saying your night prayers. And it was just, you know, we didn't do prayers before food. We didn't do that. But, you know, come Ash Wednesday, you had ash on your forehead. You went into this confession box. And as a kid, in my head, telling this guy with a frock what you did, I couldn't remember what I did wrong. So I used to make it up. I used to make up what I thought I did wrong. And so I used to like, you know, I told lies to my parents 3 times and whatever. And I mean, I was lying about telling the lie because I couldn't remember what I'd done in the first place. This is how ridiculous the system is. Who is to say that guy in a frock, aka a priest, that he's got the right to hear what I perceive I did wrong and that he's got the right to give me absolution? Who decided this? So here's the thing, our ancestors have been lied to. These levels of lies goes way back. And it's about one key thing, and that is about control. You are being controlled. You're being controlled financially. You're being controlled, you know, with your taxes. You're being controlled what you can and can't do, how you can drive. And the control, unfortunately, is actually increasing. You've got to be aware of that, yeah? So when do we say stop? When do we hold? When do we say, I do not consent? We're not going to be able to do that unless you go back to understanding who you actually are. And understanding that these people who've given themselves power over you, you've given them power over you. And so this is, you know, am I telling you to go out and break the law? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's time to get off social media that is not actually educating you. Stop the scroll feed. Yeah? Go on things purposely. Start living consciously. And start looking at things. Start looking at patterns. Think about things like, for example, in my grandparents' time in Ireland, hardly any of the people at that age, you could say, okay, maybe they died younger. My grandparents died when they were 75. Honestly, in the village, there might have been one person who had lost their memory, who lost their marbles, we used to say back in the day. Now, how many of your friends have got grandparents and sometimes even parents that have dementia? You got to think about it. You got to see the patterns. Are all of these things accidents? No, they're not. It's time to actually wake up. It's time to actually take a little bit of time every day and think about it. Think about the deeper questions. Stop going on friggin' TV watching mindless BS. It's time to stop. I mean, if you want to do that, keep asleep, stay asleep. You know, you're being fed that for a purpose. It's almost like, you know, keeping store animals, you know, keeping animals like in a stall animals rather. Just being, you know, fed enough that they're just, you know, just kept alive, gotten fattened up. Because ultimately the farmer is going to make money out of selling them and slaughtering them. Now, slightly different with humans, but there is still somebody, some energy actually making something off your distress. So my message of this is it's time to really call it. Yeah, it's time to, whatever level of awakeness you're at, take it higher, take it more. Don't get comfortable in that certain level of knowledge that you have. Because if you do, if you're not growing, you're decaying. I'll say that again. If you're not growing, you're actually decaying. And this is not meant to be a scary video. This is meant to be a wake-up video. It's meant to be a video that goes, come on, really, seriously. For those of you out there, when you find this video and you know that there's something inside that I'm saying is true, start somewhere. Start on any system. Do a bit of research. Maybe you'll research the financial system and find out how corrupt that is. Maybe you'll research the political system and find out how corrupt that is. Maybe you'll research all the wars and start finding out what a load of baloney we were told. Maybe you'll start researching the religious side of things and find out the truth behind that. Because that's pretty much where everything starts. Anyway, if this is you, if you go, okay, look, I get what you're saying now, but I'm not really sure where to start yet. Because that's a lot of people. They go, yeah, I get that, but where do I start? I have been a clinical hypnotherapist for the last 10 years. And that's really helped me understand humanity at a deep, deep level. Because people tend to tell me things that they don't necessarily even tell their partners sometimes. And I get to see, somebody walking down the street, they look amazing, they've got incredible clothes. You have got no idea what's happening in their head. You've got no idea what kind of a childhood they've had. You've got no idea how many people on the street walking around actually have had sexual abuse as a kid. Honestly, the one, I guess, bad thing maybe about doing this job is that you actually begin to see what humanity really is like underneath the surface. And it's even, you think the Epstein files are bad? Yeah, they are. But there's a lot of people who have been abused that never came into contact with Epstein. They've been abused in their families. They've been abused by their neighbors. They've been abused. So you don't wear a t-shirt usually going, hi, I'm, a sexual abuse victim or survivor. You don't. So if any of this resonates with you, even a little bit, and you want to get started somewhere, I have decided to create a community. My intention is, it's starting at the beginning, and I'm starting off with some of the people that I've worked with over the years. My intention is that this community is for people who are genuinely interested in researching the truth together, that we actually come together and that we help each other, that we teach each other. From my perspective, what I can do, what I offer, what I bring together is I bring the ability to do that, the community to do that. Also, I have been helping people get out of anxiety, depression, addictions, 10 years. I've written a book about it, Surviving to Thriving. So my point is that I can help people. And a lot of that, like talking about something, is not going to change anything. If you want to change your mind, you've got to be able to reprogram your subconscious mind. That's not news. You can talk about a problem forever. You've got to go in and change the problem where it resides at the level of the unconscious. And so part of this community is actually going to be able to look at what's going on at the moment, the challenges, and put together an audio that you can listen to at night before you go to sleep, so you can naturally increase your vibration and decrease the levels of anxiety and angst and depression that potentially you've been feeling. And in such a way that it is a highly affordable way of doing it. Yes, you can go to therapy, you can do one-on-one, but it's expensive. What if you could get the same results by actually being part of a community of like-minded people and having access to a library of audios that actually can make a difference? It's a game changer. So if any of this sounds interesting, please subscribe. It's a new channel. I've been talking about this too in my work, in my practice for years. I've been hesitant about coming out about it for many reasons, and I'll share that in some. But please subscribe to it. I really do appreciate it. And if it's useful, please share. That would really, really help. Really, really help. And if you want more, if you kind of, okay, Anne, I want to know more, I want to learn more, I want to find out about this, I want to make a decision, comment community in the comments, and from that I will send you details over the coming weeks. There's no commitment, there's no big, it's not a jail, you're not being put in and the bars are going to be closed, not at all. I only want to work alongside people who've got this genuine hunger to actually go further, to understand more, to actually be able to master this planet better, to stop actually being, it's the people who want to stop being puppets. That's who this is for. If you're happy in puppet land, stay in puppet land. But if you actually want to learn not to be a puppet, then this really could be a great potential. So please subscribe, please comment community if you're interested, and I'll see you on the next video.